Death Spiral, the only anime podcast with good taste. Yes, this week I am just saying it, just right out loud, right into the mic.
He's saying the quiet part out loud.
Because it's more important than ever, because we are moving in to winter and we are behind. We are playing catch up. And unfortunately, I know we've stranded you without a roadmap of anime shows this season to watch. Sorry about that.
Listen, it's our solemn promise that is probably never going to happen again. Probably.
But unfortunately, a long break kind of robbed us of the ability to go straight in it. So I just want to stress, these are going to be the only anime picks this season that you should pay attention to.
That's also true.
Disregard all other content. Don't watch the fucking hype YouTube videos. Don't watch the anime streamers. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Don't listen to other podcasts. They're crazy. They're crazy people.
Listen, they're bad people. They're out to hurt you. They don't have your best interests in mind. We do. We're here. We're for the people, trying to bring you the anime that you need to watch.
I'm not sure whether they watch anime, whether they like anime. I don't know. I don't know them. I'm not familiar with their game, and I don't want to be, because I know what they don't know. And what I know is good anime, and what they don't know is good anime.
In fact, sometimes all they know is bad anime. I'm just going to say that.
Most of the time, all they know is bad anime.
All right.
If they occasionally strike upon a good anime, it's probably just because it got super popular. Let's be honest. Stop clock.
Now you'll notice,
and all that.
Dear listeners, that we're not naming any names right now, and that's because we still want to maintain a facade of professionalism in this industry.
Also, case I don't know any of these. I don't know a single one of these people. I could not name one if I had a gun against my head.
Listen, I don't listen to anime podcasts, and I don't watch anime. I'm only here to talk about it, okay?
I watch anime, a lot of anime, but only so I know which ones are good and which ones are bad. That's all I care about.
That's a vital service. That's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice that you're making, that we're making, so that we can improve the quality of life of all you people out there.
Exactly. And we should just get into it because there are way too many shows. I want to just knock these out. We've wasted a full 2 weeks just fucking around. It's time to get down to business. This is the new season. Winter 2026.
Don't say that. Oh,
shit.
No. You said
shit.
It out
It's
loud. You made it real.
Are you
made
kidding
it real.
Me? For real? It's actually 2026. What is happening?
Oh, what are we doing here, folks?
Fuck.
What are we doing here? It's 2026 and we're talking about anime.
That sucks so bad. Okay, whatever. The relentless march of time. Winter anime premieres 2026. Winter anime 2026.
All right, let's jump right into it. And can I kick us off? Can I kick us off here?
You can. Go ahead.
All right. I want to just throw this out. We've been looking over the list of winter 2026 anime, which is premiering right now. And there was one on here that I wanted to bring up first because I've mentioned it before. It was a manga that I've talked about on the show. And this season is the premiere of the anime for You and I Are Polar Opposites.
Yes, I knew you were going to go for this one.
So I just want to, I'm excited for it. I liked the manga. It was surprisingly short-lived. If I remember right, I think it ended after 45, maybe 50 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering if this is going to be fully adapted, seeing as it's already over. We've talked about this in the past. Shows get adapted from manga that either are still being produced and get canceled, and so the shows just don't have an ending, or they're produced from manga that is very short-lived and kind of what was that other show from last season? See You at the Food Court or something like that.
Yes.
That was based off a manga that only had 26 chapters, and so they made a 6-episode anime out of it, which I liked. I thought it was very funny. Go watch it. But it's it confuses me. It confuses me on where the resources get allocated. And I'm wondering if that's going to be the same thing with You and I Are Polar Opposites, because it's not like it's a very small story. Like, that's the best way I can put it. It is literally about two weirdos, and that's what they are, because every middle schooler and high schooler is a weirdo. It's about two weirdos in the same class, and they're very different from each other, but they end up dating. That's the story.
Wow, imagine that.
I know.
Whoa, dude.
It's like the author heard the phrase, like the English phrase, opposites attract, and they're like, what? What? That is the most amazing thing that I've ever heard. How come nobody ever told me this idiom before? I've got to write a whole story about this.
Yeah, it's like the Save the Cat seminars.
Yeah,
like,
yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, pet the dog. Can you pet the dog? Oh, you did it.
It's kick the dog, my friend.
Excuse me, kick the dog. Like, I don't like kicking dogs. I only like petting them.
Well, I will say it is interesting that you have the fodder for essentially like one 24 episode season, and then you're like in and out.
Okay, yes, I agree with you. Under regular circumstances where stuff happens in the story. But again, this is a very grounded slice of life, like high school romance, just about two kids that are kind of different, even though the big reveal after I think the first 10 chapters or so is that they're not actually that different. The reason that they date is because they share a lot of similar interests and hobbies. They just, I guess, have different personalities. I don't know. It was very cute. You know how I feel about high school romance stuff. I'm kind of a sucker for it. But in the grand scheme of things, this is not like a Princess Kaguya where there are these grand overarching, through lines of a plot. Kind of. That was a bad example.
Actually, it's funny that you said that. No, it's not a bad example because it did remind me. This is the kind of thing that, sure, like you're saying, maybe there's enough meat on the bone there for like one season, maybe a half of season 2. Whereas there are shows like Princess Kaguya where right now they are releasing an entire movie that is just an alternate ending to the show just to like milk that property just a little bit more. And this is like a very weird development to me in the romance subspace where, hey, if a rom-com doesn't end the way you want, fuck it. We'll put out a different ending for you. You wanted this, right?
So yes, that is true. But I think also we're ignoring in that particular example that some of those problems may be unique to just how Asa Asakasa writes his stories, because people were also not happy about the ending for Oshinoko, to my understanding. And they were even less happy about the beginning of Marchen.
Good.
Because that got canceled after a year.
Yeah, good.
I know,
we need some discipline in this fucking industry.
Someone needs to tell them no. But yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the Princess Kaguya movie, because I think in that case, I am actually kind of looking forward to watching that, because the ending of the manga was really, really dumb. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah, I couldn't really get super mad or anything about it because it does end in almost the exact same way all of the rom-coms I've read end, which is just like a person leaves and then comes back later, and that's like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, right.
Which I always thought is so, I get that it's a trope that's just in rom-com stuff now, but when you overuse something like that, it makes the romance feel very immature, because it's like saying at the end, it's like, yeah, we've been through all of this stuff together, cataloged in the chapters of this manga that you, the reader, have been reading, and now we just got to put all that. Like, that was that's all in the past. Now I need to go away for a few years to mature into an adult, and then I can come back, and then we can actually be in love. It feels very weird,
Yeah, I mean, I have so much to say about that particular trope in manga.
Well, let's not get bogged down. I want
to keep it moving. It is really stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go through The big obvious one, I just want to throw it out there because we don't even need to talk about it. But obviously in March, Steel Ball Run.
What?
We got new JoJo coming out. Steel Ball Run. This is the fan favorite after Jotaro. We've got Johnny. This is fucking crazy. I can't believe I lived to see fucking Steel Ball Run get turned into an anime. 2026. Holy shit, man.
No one ever told us it would be this way.
Yes. Just throwing it out there as well. We are also, I just want to call out that we are also finally getting Gundam Hathaway Movie 2.
Oh.
Which, again, I never thought I'd live to see this one come back. I honestly thought it was vaporware. But this shit is finally coming out. I'm very excited. Again, if you have any fucking interest at all in anything Gundam ever, I urge you to watch the first Gundam Hathaway. It is fucking great, and it has one of the best Gundam fighting sequences in the entire franchise. Just go and watch that shit. As far as actual entries, I've got a few things that I have read that are finally getting adaptations this season, which is maybe exciting, maybe not. I'm really not sure. I have very mixed feelings about pretty much all of these, which is kind of funny. But the first one I want to talk about is Roll Over and Die. Omae gotoki ga mao ni kateru to omouna.
So I saw that on
party
here.
Wo tsuiho sarita no de. Hold on, I'm not done. Auto de kami kimama ni kurashitai.
Okay,
Okay,
you're just making that old joke about how the subtitle is longer than what they say in real life on the screen.
No, that's what it's called. That's what it's called.
Okay, I did see this title on here. I was intrigued by the name. I didn't put it on my list because I know nothing about it, but it's a strong name, and that's half the battle right there.
Yeah, I read it initially because I thought it was going to be a horror manga. It has horror elements, but much like many manga, it pivots away from anything interesting very quickly. Mm-hmm. One quirk, just to throw out, is that one of the main characters has a special move that they shout out like most anime, except her special move is called Genocide Arts, and she just says it a lot, which is just weird. It's just a weird thing.
That's a choice.
Yeah. So this is kind of this is very much in the kind of like grimdark isekai adjacent genre about a fantasy world with stats and slavery.
Oh.
And this girl liberates herself by taking a cursed sword and killing her slave master.
Oh, that's dope.
And absconding with her slave cellmate.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the slave cellmate is so slave-brained that instead of being like, I'm free, she immediately goes like, you're my new master.
Oh.
And so this girl with a cursed sword has to kind of like wander around doing fantasy shit with this other girl who is like a mix between like Rei Ayanami and like one of the ReZero maid girls.
Yeah.
Kind of got to just like a put together, smush together.
Her name is Rem. Get it right?
Yes, Ray and Rem, excuse me.
It's actually Ram and Rem.
I can't remember which is which. So the maybe the blue-haired one. I don't know.
Or Ram and Rem. That was it.
Yes.
Okay.
This has just enough at the beginning of the manga. This has just enough kind of like horror elements, particularly being like, how fucking weird and fucked up would it be to actually live in one of these RPG worlds where like pure power is the only thing that matters, right? And imagine if you ended up at the bottom of the pile.
Hey, well, with current political discourse, we may not have to imagine that for much longer.
Well, we, as the members of the Imperial Corps, we will have to imagine it, but maybe other people won't. So we use our imagination by reading manga like this. Uh-huh. And that is an interesting enough premise that I got into it, right? And, as a longtime fan of Elric of Melnibone, I do love a cursed sword that drinks blood and whatnot.
Sure, they're dope.
But this pivots to very generic stuff kind of quickly. If you watch like only the first, 6 to 12 episodes of this, maybe you'll get something out of it. I'm kind of interested to see how they play around with that. I wonder if they can resist the urge to make it too mainstream anime-y and file off the parts I like about it. I feel like they will not be able to. resist turning this into more of a cutesy anime, unfortunately, because of the Rey Reb smushed up maid slave girl thing.
Well, there's just so much money sitting on the table with that kind of character. They have to exploit it.
Yeah, this really is one of those things where it like folds under the weight of having to be anime, which is going to be a running theme. But yeah, so what else do you got?
All right. Speaking of interesting premises, I'm gonna keep on theme here with my stuff. This is another high school rom-com. Actually, I don't know if it's a com. It might just be a rom.
Maybe it's a rom.
I am talking about Uruwashi no Yoi no Suki, or In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. This appears to be your bog standard BL kind of high school romance between like a sheltered nerdy guy who isn't a loser. He has interests. He's part of sports teams. He has people that look up to him, but he's just very reserved. And then like the school prince type. And the twist here is that the prince type that everyone looks up to, who is a silver-haired Destiny child, by the way.
Of course. Yeah, I've got one of those too.
Yeah. Everyone looks, he's the biggest gentleman. All the girls love him. Turns out that he's actually kind of an asshole. Very stuck up, looks down on people, talks behind people's back. And did I say that was the twist? Because the actual twist here is that the shy, reserved guy in this BL romance is actually the boyish prince girl of the school.
Naturally, yes.
And so, I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. You don't see that quite as often as, your standard nerd falls in love with a Gyaru kind of thing. I like the concept of the school prince, like, the dude that everyone looks up to and all the girls want to date because he's so dreamy and wistful. And he has silver hair. I like the concept of that dude just being kind of like just a jerk that's full of himself and is constantly blowing off work and making fun of people. He's got the best of both worlds. He's a bad boy and he's like your dreamy Griffith type.
Yeah, we've got a bit of 10 Things I Hate About You going on.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit, a gender flipped reverse Taming of the Shrew.
I'll take it. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, let's see. So I've got, let me stack these because this one's not consequential. Fate, Strange Fake, the new Fate season, the new like actual real Fate season is finally coming out. They put out sort of a proof of concept / teaser episode a long time ago. I mentioned that on the show and I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, it'd be really funny if that was a fake out.
I honestly think it was literally just proof of concept for this season. This one is, it's more Fate. I have lots of mixed feelings about Fate. A lot of the Fate stuff does not hit for me, especially that fucking last video game sucked so fucking bad. That was so dumb. The one where it's like set in the future school where all the Fate stuff takes place in a virtual world, I thought that was incredibly stupid, even though I liked some of the stuff in that season.
I'm so over VR worlds.
VR worlds suck. They're so dumb. This one takes us back to an actual Grail war, like in the real world, except much like a couple of the earlier versions, this is like a fucked up one. Something is not right. This has been a corrupted Grail war in some way, but I like that we're going back to sort of the basics here. I'm worried about some of the 3D, a lot of 3D in the new trailer that wasn't in the original concept, but it's fake. Whatever, give it a shot or not. Whatever. My actual recommendation is something called Shiboyugi: playing death games to put food on the table. That kind of really says it all.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you put that on your list. I have that on my list, but under the do not watch section.
Well, this is something I've read. Again, I'm working through those first. And it's not even a twist. I mean, the concept is right there in the title. We have a silver-haired star child with heterochromia and everything. Who's caught in a death game with a bunch of cute girls.
Sure.
This is pretty standard. But instead of being like a mystical child, her superpower or whatever is that actually she's from a poor family and she plays these like perverted death games for like a side job, basically. This is how she makes cash. So she's much better at it than all the other people who wake up in the death game all confused.
I mean, we are so close to that just being a reality, though, of like Mr. Beast putting out a death game app so that people can do like side gigs. Hey, go to First Street and kick this guy in the balls. I'll give you $20. We're so close to that.
It's kind of what Periscope was. But yeah, this is the death game of this season. I wish there were more. I read a little bit of this manga and I thought it was fine. So
I'm surprised there's only one.
We'll see where it goes. I like the angle of somebody just being like, yeah, I've played a bunch of these fucking things. And instead of like all the other death games and, coming to the conclusion that I've got to find the people behind this and stop it, she instead comes to the conclusion of, yes, I am completely cucked by the capitalist system. So I'm just gonna go along with it. What am I gonna do? Stop the rich people? No, I'll work and I'll make some cash.
Too real, man.
It's gonna be a death game. If you like death games, you know what's up. The animation looks fine.
All right, let's ground it. Let's ground it a little bit. Let's reel it back. The next one on my list here is Ikoku Nikki, or Journal with Witch. And I put this one on here as a I need to tell people who might be going to this, seeing as we were coming out of the previous 2 seasons of The Witch in anime. And I think there's going to be some people out there that see this title and go into it and assume that this is also going to be about witches. It is not about witches. It is not about witches. I repeat, this is I don't know if you would call it slice of life drama or just pure drama. It's about a novelist, a lady named Makio Kodai, who's in her mid-30s, and suddenly her aunt and uncle die in a car crash, leaving behind their 15-year-old daughter. And for really fucked up, like, bad reasons, none of the rest of their family want to, like, take in this orphan girl. So our protagonist, Makio, seeing as she's single and has an apartment to herself, decides to, like, semi-adopt her 15-year-old niece. And I'm not like gonna be joking around too much with this premise. It is like a very sad story about coming to terms with grief and losing people in your life, and like trying to find solace in family. I read a little bit of the manga a long time ago. It's like pretty sad, but it's a good story and the art's really good. So I would highly recommend people check it out. Just know it's not about sexy anime witches.
Yeah, and usually you would throw like a witch in there, kind of just to soften the blow of like the horrifying grief concept. But occasionally they do try to make an anime for like an adult.
I'm always taken off guard whenever it happens, but it does happen out there. I do appreciate it for the most part.
Yeah.
And when we say that they try and make them for adults, like, I'm talking about like a fully fleshed out, like, developed human, not like, what was that Berserk clone that came out last season?
Which one?
Ubelblatt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's the bad kind of adult anime.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, my next one is something I have talked about multiple times, but finally getting an adaptation. Kaya-chan wa kawakunai. Kaya-chan isn't scary.
Yes, that's
this
also
is
on my
one
list.
About, yes, a little girl who very, in sort of Meruko-chan style, is somebody who is unfortunately beset by the ability to see ghosts and thus attract them. But unlike Meruko-chan, this little girl has like mob level exorcist powers. So she very easily dispatches them. But I guess this is what the degenerates would call gap moe, because we are kind of alternating between like cute kids finding themselves in horrifying situations, which are resolved by an even cuter kid doing even more horrifying things. That's it's a great pitch, and I really like the manga, and eventually it does develop like a kind of an interesting plot, though I doubt we'd see it within like 1 or 2 seasons of this anime. It takes a while. But hopefully the animation is good, because this one actually deserves some good shit. The manga is good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like the trailer. I like the concept of, essentially, like you said, it's kind of like a more horror-tinged mob psycho, less comedy, more focused on these little kids doing like ghost stuff. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Very cool. All right. This next one.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
Very cool. That's
Very
actually
cool.
Very cool.
Unlike this next one that I want to talk about, which I think that now that I think about it, I am going to move it from my watch list to my do not watch list. I'm downgrading it. And that is the Darwin incident.
Oh, you're downgrading the Darwin incident. Why?
I am uncomfortable with the thought of a human chimp hybrid. It makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, is it because that movie Primate is coming out?
That's part of it. Part of it is that scene from Nope, the Jordan Peele movie. Part of it is that I just don't like chimpanzees. They freak me out. They're like weird little strong men with bad emotional control. They make me uncomfortable, and I don't like looking at them, and I don't like being around them.
You sound exactly like the bad guys in this manga. You sound exactly like them. You're making their argument, basically, word for word.
Okay, did you have this on your list?
Yeah, because I never got around to reading the manga, unfortunately, but it has always been on my list because this one is like very, very highly regarded. The art for the manga is great. The premise is fun. I have high hopes. I'm probably gonna watch the first episode of this and then read the manga. That feels like it's gonna be in my future.
Okay. I was very put off by the word humanzy.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Okay.
All right, what else you got?
I have, and this one is a real mixed one as well. Maybe I'm downgrading this, or already did in my mind, but Dead Account is getting a anime. Dead Account is by the guy who did...
We've talked about it before.
Yes, Real Account. This was the follow-up. Unfortunately, instead of a death game, this is about a group of Jujutsu Kaisen-style exorcists, except they exercise social media curses.
They uncancel people?
Oh, no. They super cancel.
Oh, they super cancel people.
They're ultra cancelers.
They have some kind of magical canceling power.
It's more like they go into like boomer Facebook pages and they like kill the evil that is festering on there, which is a lot. You can imagine. It's such a mixed bag because it is like occasionally there are fun twists, but it is so generic shonen that sometimes it just smothers itself with boring ideas that I really don't know. This is a real question mark right now.
I don't know. Maybe we need people like that to actually go around the internet clearing out the bad juju these days. Maybe that would be like a good thing to do.
It probably wouldn't hurt.
Okay, I got one that I have very mixed feelings about, and that is Tome Otoko to Ningen Ona Sonochi Fufu ni Naru Futari.
Yeah.
Or The Invisible Man and His Soon-to-Be Wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something we've both read.
Yeah. No, we've both read that. And I don't know how deep into our personal lore we want to get in, but I have personal beef with this concept, and I'll just leave it at that. I find that it is a direct affront to my particular inner circle, and I will not let that stand. But I will be watching it.
I like it very much. I'm very happy that this is getting an adaptation. I always find it funny when somebody wants to do a visual representation of an invisible guy. Way more impressive in live action than it is in cartoons. But, I'm still into it. I still like it. I think it's cute that he's dating a blind girl.
Yeah,
great.
No, that's great.
It's just great.
That's, that is my favorite, conceit of the whole thing. Invisible guy as a detective. No notes. I like it. Dating a blind girl. Great. Chef's kiss. I have very personal reasons for disliking this manga, and I won't go further than that.
Well, I disagree with those reasons. Okay, let's see. Let me breeze through this real quick. They are they are doing an adaptation of Hanakimi, Hanazakari no Kimitachi e, a classic for a lot of different reasons. If you're unfamiliar with this is a rom-com? Sort of a gender bender rom-com from the 90s, Clamp style, maybe even Clamp, I can't remember, about a girl doing sort of like a boys don't cry thing.
Okay. Well, I know that has something to do with vaguely related to like a sports competition kind of thing, right? Or am I mixing it up with something else?
Boys Don't Cry? No, not really.
No, not Boys Don't Cry, the manga, Hanakimi.
Oh, Hanakimi?
Yeah.
It's about an American girl who falls so in love with a Japanese boy who she sees on TV during a track and field thing that she literally flies to Japan to stalk him. She does the Boys Don't Cry thing and enrolls in his school and pretends to be a boy to flirt with him.
Classic, relatable,
Yeah,
I get
it literally is. It literally is a classic. It's one of those beloved ones. I think it's funny. And it's getting a sort of throwbacks animation style adaptation, which seems to be kind of all the rage in the last few years. I'm interested to see how it goes. Let's see. I put down, this is another question mark. I put down the Holy Grail of Eris, mainly because I wanted to say that royalty is inherently bad. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
The premise of this anime is that royalty is bad, except one family is really good. And I just want to say that is not possible. Like,
yes,
royalty is structurally bad. It doesn't have anything to do with like individual baronesses or whatever the fuck.
Well, that is the argument. The Aristotelian philosopher king versus like, oh wait, it's actually bad to give somebody that much power. It's inherently bad. There's no such thing as a good noble. Philosopher kings don't exist. Noblesse oblige is a scam. Kill your masters.
Anyway, this is about a ghost who, like a fat titty ghost who climbs inside a little girl before she's executed and like does some like legalese or whatever to get her off the execution block. And then she just like goes on to like very virtuously get revenge on a bunch of murdering royal assholes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds really bad, but who knows? Question mark. Who knows?
Hey, speaking of really bad, if we're getting into the trash portion of stuff, there is, of course, Wash It All Away. Have you heard of this one?
No.
This is the slice of life manga / now anime about doing laundry.
Cool,
and
man.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's essentially it's this season's Ruri Rocks, where that Ruri Rocks was about geography, quote unquote geography. This one is about laundry, and what they're actually about is spending a lot of money making a lot of keyframe animation for some really disgustingly pervy stuff. It seems to be my takeaway from it. It is a pervert anime. It is the fetishization of like domestic labor in the most literal sense. It's about a girl who, her favorite thing in the entire world for some reason unexplained. It's just her quirky thing that she likes, is doing laundry. She really loves doing laundry. She wants to be the best at laundry, and so she gets a job at a rural, like, onsen / like ryokan, where she does the laundry of the guests.
She does the laundry,
and then the camera.
She's the fabled Clorox mom.
Yeah.
Who is so happy that she can get the blood and dirt off her kids' soccer cleats or whatever the fuck.
Yep. And then the manga and the show is just like very, very male gazy shots of her like doing laundry, and probably a lot of shots inside the bath. Anime seems to do that. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but sometimes anime, they do these really unnecessary long, like, pervy sequences inside of a bath so that the audience can, like, look at all the female characters naked. It's probably going to do a lot of that.
Yeah, that sounds right up your alley. Okay.
Don't insult me like that.
This one pretty much goes without saying. The movie adaptation of All You Need Is Kill is coming out, and it looks fucking great. I said pretty recently, the manga is very bad. I was very disappointed. The live action version is maybe only live action anime adaptation that's better than the source material. And this one looks even better than that. So we'll see very quickly.
You scoffed at me. You turned your nose up and said, "I don't know about that, Chief," when I said that this movie trailer looked freaking awesome.
It does. Now we'll still have to see. We'll wait and see. Maybe the movie still sucks, but the animation style is great. I'll give them that.
Okay, so we talked about it a little bit last time, but the big difference between the manga and the Tom Cruise movie with this one is that this version of the story appears to be centering the main character on the female lead, and it's a different story with her as the main character. They're not actually completely adapting the manga. It is its own thing.
Well, it's the same story. Two people who are death repeating meet each other, and then death repeat until they defeat an alien invasion. I mean, that's the story.
That's the basic premise. But I think, from my understanding, the events that actually happen in this movie are going to be new and original to what has happened in the manga so far.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, because you said that when I brought it up last time, you said that's good because the male character is bad and boring.
Yes, the manga version, very bad. Amazingly, the Tom Cruise asshole version is so much more charming. It's kind of crazy. Okay, this one's a weird one. This one is called The Casebook of Arnie no Jikembo.
Okay.
This is about a vampire detective. That's it. I like detective stories. Vampires are hot.
So hot right now.
This could go either way, like either be very charming or extremely bad. Honestly, watching the trailer is not charming to me at all. But we're just going to have to see. Detective vampire.
I mean, I see a little kid on the cover, so that immediately makes me think that it's going to be a Conan clone.
Could be.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Vampire detective.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. We've reached the end of my list with this last one here. And I put this on because the premise was so, like, out of pocket that, like, I want to see what's going on here, because it sounds to me like this is going to be, like, the most edgelord slop that you could ever dream up. This is called Daily Life of a Part-Time Torturer.
Uh-huh.
And all I really have to go on is the description that says, this story takes place in a world where torture and murder are legal. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know how the world would work in that scenario, so that would be kind of fun to explore.
Well, you know, if they actually went into it and explored it, it might be interesting because, you know, the obvious question that premise is asking is, if it's not illegal, are people just going to start killing each other?
Are they all killing each other? Is it the purge every day?
Is it the purge every day? And I think most people, if you were to ask them, like, hey, if if the government said that it was legal to kill people tomorrow, like, would you just go and kill somebody? You'd probably say no, right?
I would say, most of the time, people who do kill other people, they don't make a rational decision where they're like, I want to kill this guy. Oh, shit, wait, it's against the law.
I can't do that. It's against the law.
I think, maybe I'm a huge optimist in this regard, but I just don't think if we made murder legal overnight, like it would, everyone would suddenly start murdering each other. Maybe we would have an uptick in murder. Maybe a lot of people would suddenly be emboldened to like kill their wife or whatever. You read these true crime things. But for the most part, I think if people want to kill people, they just do it. And then they try to get away with it. That is really the bigger part.
No, they do it first, and then they try and get away with it. But it's generally not a logical, like you're saying, it's not a logical thought process.
What made me interested in this one in particular was not necessarily how stupid and weird that premise is, but that it weirdly echoes Shadow of the Torturer. Are you familiar with that book, the Gene Wolfe book?
No, I haven't heard that one.
The first book in a sequence called The Book of the New Sun. It's like very influential and famous in the fantasy lit space. And it is about a young torturer who works in the Torturers Guild.
They have a guild now.
Yeah.
They pay dues.
Well, you kind of become you're indebted to your guild because they raise you. Torturers are usually brought up as orphans. And then raised to be torturers.
Okay, that brings up other complications. I'm not sure I'm on board with this whole legal torture thing.
Well, it's sort of a feudal system. They're serving under an autarch, all this stuff. It is a great book series. They're very weird books. But it is got a kid who tortures people for a living, and it's just kind of like his daily routine. Because it's a fantasy book, he goes on an adventure, so it doesn't last super long, but that is his day job.
It's just like a job for me. I don't like, it's not my whole personality, man.
Yeah.
I go bowling on the weekends. I'm not just a torturer.
I am very interested to, unlike Shadow of the Torturer, to see if they do have women torturers. Because Shadow of the Torturer posits that they can't allow women to be part of the Torturers Guild because women will enjoy it more than men. Which I think is it's a very funny thing to say.
I mean, I can't...
Gene Wolfe, he's a very, very Catholic man. But I'm interested to see what's going on there.
That's pretty much everything that I'm like genuinely interested in giving a shot this season.
Okay, I've got two more to kill, and then we can call it quits. So one of them is a very long-running manhwa, which are catching on, as we know, called Terror Man, which is hilarious to me because it is about a guy who does a bunch of terrorism in order to save people's lives. It's very funny. It's really stupid.
No, that's a legitimately funny joke.
Yeah, it is very funny. It takes itself very seriously, obviously, which actually helps it be funny.
Well, is it just a general concept of terrorism? Like, what's his cause? What's his plot here?
Well, he has the ability to kind of see a little bit into the future. Mm-hmm. And so he can see when something really bad is going to happen, and he can see what he can do to change that future. But unfortunately, a lot of times the thing that can change the future has to be so dramatic that he is labeled a terrorist for doing it.
Sure. Like, understandable.
Yeah, you could imagine a endless series of trolley problems, right?
Yeah.
And after you switch the tracks enough times, you do end up racking up a lot of dead bodies. So eventually they start calling him a terrorist.
The argument of, but you don't see all the people who died because I killed these people, doesn't really hold up in court,
No.
It's kind of a hard one to explain away. Hey, yeah, I killed all those people, but it could have been even worse, buddy.
It's only sympathetic to us, the audience, because we actually do see all the people die. Very Final Destination-ish in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the last one, I just thought this was an incredibly funny premise. It is called Omae wa Mada Gunma wo Shiranai Reiwa Ban. And the premise seems to be about a guy who moves to Gunma.
Okay.
And everyone there tries to convince him that Gunma is a cool place to live. And it's like he just does like touristy stuff, and they talk about the local interests and cool places to visit, the landmarks, what the local food is like. Meanwhile, apparently this guy is having some kind of mental breakdown the whole time. I'm not really sure about that part. But it does seem to be an anime that is almost entirely centered around how cool Gunma is.
Okay, well, I'm familiar with these. There's been a pretty big uptick, actually, in the last few years of what I've been calling, like, domestic travel shows, which is already a big genre in just, like, Japanese daytime television to begin with. Japan is, like, interesting because they have that thing, that, like, cultural thing there where people are, like, motivated and interested in going to different parts of their country and learning about that and seeing it. It's something totally foreign to us, you know, because America is made up of so much absolute nothingness in between actual cities where people live. Like, there's really just nothing of value in between there. So when we see stuff like this, and don't get me wrong, these types of shows are absolutely publicly funded by Japan's internal touristry ministry.
Of course.
You know, they are advertisements for these different prefectures and places to get people from around the country to spend tourist dollars there. I find them endlessly interesting because I like travel shows to begin with. And so seeing it like presented through an anime lens where it's trying to like make this hyper real version of the place that it's trying to sell, I find like pretty entertaining. But what was the one we talked about? Zatsutabi. Zatsutabi. That's Journey.
That's Journey.
That's Journey.
That's Journey.
That's the entire premise of Zatsutabi, except instead of just Gunma, it's like each episode was a different prefecture. Same with, there's another one I'm forgetting, but another about a wary office worker woman who takes refuge in traveling around the country and going to different fancy hotels. It was another manga that I read. But same thing. They're all travel brochures for these places. And hey, do you want to go to Gunma now? Do you want to check out Gunma?
I would check out Gunma. I don't know any of the local foods.
They gotcha. They gotcha then. They gotcha.
I mean, it's not high on my list because I don't know the landmarks or the local specialty dishes or what kind of amenities are available at the luxury spas. Are there any hot springs in Gunma? There must be, right?
Oh, Gunma is hot spring central, baby.
Yeah, is it?
Oh yeah.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it. I'll have to watch the anime.
Google Gunma right now. The first thing that's going to come up is pictures of hot springs. I guarantee.
If I Google Gunma, yeah, you're right. The first thing that came up was a hot spring.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there are lots of hot springs in Gunma. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
I would go to a hot spring.
Sure.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't?
I mean, I wouldn't because I have tattoos and they wouldn't let me in. But, you do you.
Well, yeah, I also have tattoos. That would be a problem.
Oh, yeah. Well.
I could probably cover it up.
That's true. They do give you a sanitary napkin to put over it.
I'll wear an arm sleeve like I'm in the NBA.
But yeah, and you know what? I bet that you're going to want to go to Gunma even more after watching this show.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be hopping on a plane immediately because of this anime about a guy having a breakdown.
Yep. I mean, that is probably the more interesting angle of this whole thing, is that it's about a dude just kind of hanging out in Gunma while the rest of his life crumbles around him. I find that very compelling.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have no idea if everything goes very wrong for this dude or not. We'll just have to watch the anime. I just like the idea of a bunch of people coming out of the woodworks to be like, hey, dude, it's actually cool here. And him being like, oh, God, I don't know what's happening. And they're like, no, what's happening is that Gunma is cool. I'm into it.
Hey, I don't know. You know what? I gotta see the anime now to see if Gunma's cool.
Yeah.
If it's cool enough, Next time I go to Japan, I'm going to Gunma.
All right. Well, that besides maybe some movies and stuff we'll get to eventually, that's pretty much it for winter. We did say we would watch Chow, but I still refuse to learn Japanese, so unfortunately that kind of got foiled. I think we will watch 100 meters as a counterbalance to the fucking Uma Musume shit we watched last time.
Okay, all right.
We'll talk about running again, but in the context of like people who actually do it with human feet and stuff.
Hey, you know what? Year of the horse, baby.
I'm the horse baby?
It's Year of the Horse, my dude. It's time to stop resisting. Time to go all in on that Uma Musume running. Come on, you feel the call.
I can't. I will double down on my Uma Musume hating if that's what it takes.
You know what? That gives them money too.
This is an Uma Musume hating podcast.
This is the only anime podcast that both loves and hates Uma Musume.
Loves. Okay, yeah, sure. All right, that's it. Fucking Jesus Christ. That's the entire series. That's the entire season right there.
That's it.
What more could you want? Now you know.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Now you know.
Go with God, my children.
Yeah, beautiful, handsome, tall listeners. Thank you for being patient in our downtime. We needed a long break there to kind of recenter ourselves, but we're back for 2026, Year of the Horse. We're gonna be coming at you with all kinds of new and exciting anime takes. Oh God, it just keeps coming.
It just keeps coming.
Time just keeps coming. All right. Until next time.
Jujutsu Kaisen, baby.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, Mappa.
Jujutsu Kaisen, baby.
All right.
Let's hope for an alternate ending movie.
No, bye. We're saying bye right now.
No, the alternate ending Jujutsu Kaisen movie. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Like sit down and then you draw a cool thing and you're like, damn, this thing is fucking cool. I'm gonna write a script about it. That is probably honestly better than sitting down and going, I'm gonna write a good movie.